Greetings and salutations, everybody out there. This is the I Seen It Movie Reviews podcast. I'm your host, Jerry Saylor. In the studio with me today, we have my right-hand man, Mr. Tim Holmes.
Hello.
How's it going, man?
Oh,
Yeah.
it's going.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. Today, we are reviewing the, I guess, highly anticipated Halloween by Blumhouse and Danny McBride.
And David Gordon Green is the guy who directed.
Yeah, he is the director.
Yeah.
Now, I had a lot of hope going into this movie.
First of all, why is it called Halloween and not Halloween 2018 or Halloween 2, but in parentheses, there's now 3 movies called Halloween.
Right, because they had Rob Zombie's Halloween.
Right. But I guess when you talk about that Halloween, you do always say Rob Zombie's Halloween.
That's how I always refer to it as.
This movie is always going to be referred to as Halloween 2018.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know why they just didn't call it something more. Yeah, there's a lot of problems. This movie's problems has problems.
Yeah, most definitely. I had super high hopes for this flick.
Me too.
I thought, because Danny McBride's in it, it's going to be... Well, no, he's not in it, but
right.
he produced it and maybe helped write it or something. I don't know. That it was just going to be knock your socks off great. And I hate to say it, that's not the impression that I got from this movie after watching it.
Yeah, the trailer for this movie was pretty intense. You had the bathroom scene where you see the girl in the stall, and Michael Myers reaches up over the stall and drops the teeth inside of it, which is pretty gross. I'm not sure that that's really a hallmark of Michael Myers, but yeah, still an intense trailer. Had a lot of steam, some heat built up behind it. I think we're 5 or 6, maybe longer since the last Halloween movie came out, the sequel to Rob Zombie's Halloween. I
believe that came out, I want to say, 2009.
Yeah, so 9 years.
Yeah,
since
it's
the
been
last
a while.
Halloween
Rob
movie.
Zombie's original Halloween came out, I want to say, 2007.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it was 2009, maybe 10
Yeah.
when it came out. But it's been a while since we've had a Halloween flick.
And that movie went straight under the radar. Not a lot of people have seen it. Did you see the sequel?
The sequel, I have not seen the sequel.
So,
I kind of didn't want to.
Yeah.
Because the trailer just looked way too out there.
Yeah, from what I understand, the studio that released Rob Zombie's Halloween were basically forcing him, or they said that they were going to create a sequel to it if he was in it or not. And he said,
he basically did it to keep him from doing it.
Yeah, to be like, well, now you'll leave me alone. I'll take your money and I'll destroy my franchise.
Yeah, I mean, that's essentially what happened too.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I want to scoot.
Doing some technical things here on my end. Now, before we actually get into all the problems and the spoilers, yes, there is going to be spoilers in this episode, folks. So, just if you haven't seen the movie and you don't want it to be spoiled, turn it off now. We are about to spoil I said the S word there. We're going to spoil the crap out of this movie, and you have been warned. So, the movie starts out with basically everything you saw in the trailer, with the journalists or podcasters, as they refer to themselves as in the movie.
Some Heather Wright style podcasters.
Yeah, they're basically at the mental institution, hoping to meet with Michael, get a response, and they get no response.
They're trying to get like a human quality from Mike Myers. It's like they don't believe the boogeyman stories.
Yeah, they don't believe that he's been quiet and won't talk.
Right.
And they're trying to invoke a response from him.
Shatter the mystique that surrounds the Michael Myers killings of 1978.
Right. And in order to do that, they obviously have his mask, which they pull that out, and it seems like everybody else that's outside in the little mental institution prison yard or whatever, and they're all chained up. They can't do anything. Everybody else starts flipping out except Michael Myers.
Yeah.
He just stands there.
So
he doesn't do anything.
Do we want to continue with the timeline, or can I just call something out here?
If you got BS to call it.
Well, okay, so this right here is setting up the magic of Michael Myers, right? There's a presence that what they're telling you with this scene is that there is a presence, there is a symbology, if you will.
Symbology.
No, not a symbology, but there's an ethereal quality to the mask that all these I guess crazy people are feeling. There's energy that's coming off the mask, right?
Now, is it the mask, or is it the energy coming off Michael in the presence of the mask?
Either way, there's something ethereal going on.
Right.
But this movie, the rest of the time, goes lengths to show you that he's kind of just human. Just a killing machine.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because, well, I mean, we'll get to that as we get to it, but it's an amazing opening sequence. I did dig this.
I dug it up until not much farther into the movie.
But I mean, like, and then they smash cut to Halloween, and then the and like all that stuff. I get chills thinking about it. It was a good scene.
The whole reverse jack-o'-lantern melting.
Yes.
Like in the previous movies. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good homage.
Yeah.
To the older flicks, but at the same time, now that I've seen the movie, they just kind of recycled it.
Yeah.
You know, there's no originality in that. Like, yeah, it was cool to see it again, but to have that kind of homage on this big piece of trash is, it's kind of heartbreaking.
Yeah, so what I basically just wanted to call out there is that already from the start, this movie is setting its feet in a direction that it's never going to live out. It's not going to fulfill it.
It peaks within the first 20 minutes of the movie.
Yeah,
I thought.
Yes, I agree too. But yeah, already this movie is trying to be. Well, it's starting out as one thing, but we're immediately going to shift gears all over the place
and slow it way down.
Yeah. And just confuse the hell out of it.
We're gonna start way up here, and then we're gonna dive down real fast.
Yeah.
And then go on a long upward slope. That never quite reaches where it was to begin with.
So let's keep going with the events.
So after the podcasters go and meet with him, it goes back after the title sequence. It goes back to them going to meet with Jamie Lee Curtis, or Laurie Strode, if you will, and they basically go to her compound out in the middle of the woods, but yet still super close to Haddonfield. I'm assuming, because at certain points in the movie, people are like running through the woods and get there in a matter of minutes.
Right.
So it can't be that far away. And I would think if I was Laurie Strode, I would want to get away from there. But ultimately, her intentions over the years have been to wait for Michael Myers to get out and come after her so she can kill him.
Right.
So that would explain why she didn't move far away.
So another direction that this movie is leading us to believe that this is a Harry Potter relationship where neither can truly live while the other survives.
I've never seen the Potter movie, so I couldn't...
Right. But basically, one has to kill the other to live a life. Michael Myers is, as long as he lives, Laurie can't be a full-fledged human being because she lives in constant state of paranoia.
Yeah, paranoia.
Yeah.
Now, one thing that I'm kind of unclear on, I've heard people say this is like a direct sequel to Halloween 2, but it felt more like a sequel to Halloween 1. Based off the fact that very early on in the film, after they do the interview with Jamie Lee Curtis, we start to get introduced to her other family members who are alive. She has a daughter and a granddaughter.
Mm-hmm.
And we find out through them, well, through the granddaughter, that the whole Laurie Strode being Michael Myers' long-lost sister was just a myth that somebody had came up with and ran with and just basically made like an urban legend out of it. I was always under the impression that Laurie Strode was Michael Myers' long-lost sister.
Right. That is set up in 2.
It is set up in 2, but the whole rest of the movie, like you never hear about that, about Laurie Strode being the long-lost sister or anything.
Right.
And the fact that the granddaughter would make a reference and say, well, that was just a myth.
Means that 2 did not happen.
That 2 did not happen.
Right.
Or maybe 2 did happen, and she's just not wanting to believe that she's the sister. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
It's definitely weird.
Yeah.
Michael Myers having eyes as well kind of disqualifies 2.
Yeah, because in 2 he gets his eyes shot, right?
Right.
He gets shot in both eyes.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a... Yeah, I mean, Laurie Strode is the main character of 2 as well as 1. And 2 picks up the same night as 1.
Yeah, there's no time in between. It's Halloween 1 ends, Halloween 2 picks up. Right there.
Right.
You know.
So to say that 2 doesn't happen, it is weird. It almost doesn't seem believable. But I do think that this movie, so Michael Myers at the end of 1.
He was burned at the end of 2.
Right.
And then in this movie...
Spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers. You've been warned. In this movie, he doesn't look burned at all. Like he has like facial hair. And like hair. You would think if somebody was burned badly, they'd be horribly scarred and wouldn't be able to grow facial hair. And if they could, it would be in patches or...
you'd have scar tissue.
Yeah, it wouldn't look like a beard.
Right.
You know, and it wasn't like in the Rob Zombie's Halloween... Like he was just this big, huge, grizzly-looking dude with like long hair. No, this is, you'd have to figure, Michael's like essentially in his 60s at this point.
Right. Based
off the old movie age and stuff. So, I mean, for a 60-year-old dude, yeah, he's in good shape. But how much can you heal in 40 years that you can start to grow facial hair and hair on your head? Through scar tissue.
Right.
I doubt they're going to be spending money on Michael Myers, who is, locked up in prison on, facial reconstructive plastic surgery just so he can grow a beard.
Right.
And who's willing to get close enough to Michael Myers to shave him, to cut his hair, to cut his beard?
Not me.
You'd
have to be asleep.
Yeah, they'd have to knock him out. And even then, I would be super, super scared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that this movie is a direct continuation of 1.
It would
nothing
have to
else.
Be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
Because I don't know too many people that get shot in the eye and
40
years later have new eyes.
Yeah.
LASIK can't fix that. So after we meet Laurie Strode and we get introduced to her world of paranoia,
right?
You get a brief glimpse at her house.
Right.
Her whole compound, if you will.
Gates,
security cameras. I mean, this is like...
multiple locks to the front door.
Huge lights. Yeah. I mean, she basically... You get the impression that she never leaves her house.
Right.
She stays in there, barricaded from the world.
They call her an agoraphobic, somebody that's afraid
of going out.
Yeah.
Now, the rest of the movie...
we do not see any signs of that.
She's out and about.
Driving around in a car.
Yeah, standing outside her granddaughter's school, staring at her, just like Michael Myers did in the first movie.
Yeah. She got a CB radio in her car or a police radio.
Police scanner, yeah. I mean, she's got her thumb on the pulse.
Yeah.
She's hip to what's going on.
She's left her house a few times.
Yeah, like more so than not, I think.
Well, we find out that she has a terrible relationship with her daughter.
Yes.
That's the big thing
horrible.
that you take away from the podcasters is they say that she not neglected, but...
basically, I call it the Terminator defense.
Yeah, she was Sarah Connor.
She was Sarah Connor.
To her daughter.
Training her daughter to be,
ready for the return.
Exactly.
And that got her daughter taken away but she still has a relationship with her daughter, although it is strained because right after she kicks the podcasters in her house, she takes the $3,000 for their interview, which they really should have fine-tuned some details on that interview, because that's a lot of money for about 2 sentences of interview.
For 2 sentences that one of them include,
you already know the answer
to that, yeah.
And then she kicks him out, and then we immediately go to the Strode daughter's house.
Yes.
So you pick up from there.
Well, basically, you just get kind of introduced. It's real basic, exactly how you would think it would be.
Yeah.
You know, you got the mom and the dad there, and then the daughter. You get like the sense that, oh, it's early morning, but it's, you know, time to go to school. She's still. Are they cooking like a huge breakfast?
Yeah.
Is it that cliche?
Yeah.
You know, bacon and eggs and toast on the table. You know, I can't eat.
Oh, he's making peanut butter sandwiches. Remember, he gets peanut butter on his penis.
Yeah, that's what he says. Yeah. And the humor.
Danny McBride.
Yeah, that's a Danny McBride joke.
Yeah,
right
yeah,
there.
for sure.
You get the overall sense that they're a happy family and that nothing really bothers them. The whole Michael Myers thing is behind them. They don't think about it.
Right.
And this is what, like October 30th, right? This is not even Halloween yet.
Yeah.
So the daughter walks to school, and that's when she explains the whole, you know, it's just a myth or whatever. It's not.
What is
never
she?
Real.
What is she getting ready for?
There's the Halloween dance.
But there's, this is going a little bit further in time, but she opens up her jacket to show it looks like a graduation sash or something around her neck.
It's something like
but I was
that,
like,
or an award or something. Yeah, you don't graduate in October.
Right. That's why I was like, what? I don't remember why she wants her grandma, or she keeps calling her grandmother, by the way, which is kind of weird.
Grandmother.
Yeah.
Grandma, what was it like?
Now I want to continue. But yeah, she wants her grandmother for some kind of ceremony thing that's going on, but
you never find out what the ceremony is.
Yeah, and all you were supposed to take away from this is that Judy Greer lies about her contacting her mom.
Yeah, the granddaughter wants Laurie Strode, the grandmother, essentially to show up at whatever this awards thing is and be present.
But
and the mom's like, yeah,
I'll talk to her. She's too busy.
Yeah, she's not coming. And then all of a sudden she just shows up at the dinner
that
they have, where she's wearing like the graduation sash.
Yeah.
And she has like an award or something in her hand.
Yeah.
Like I don't, maybe it was like a scholarship award or something. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
either.
It's just one of those things that never goes anywhere.
Yeah.
It's definitely the cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah. It never comes back for any reason at all.
Yeah. But then the granddaughter says that she knows that her mom lies about her contacting the grandmother because she reaches out as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So right there, you kind of, at that point, you get the sense that the relationship isn't as picture perfect as they wanted you to think it was, based on like the opening breakfast peanut butter on my penis scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then when they walk to school,
you learn about the myth.
Yeah, the myth about
her being the Michael Myers' sister. Yeah.
And
they say that's not true, just a myth.
Yeah. And that one boy says that...
The one boy who never comes back.
No, he does.
He does.
That's the boy that's with the girl who's the babysitter. The one that's smoking and stuff. Gotcha. We'll get to that later.
Yeah.
That's the same boy.
Okay. I didn't recognize him.
He says that by today's standards, the events of 1978 are not really, that traumatic or whatever.
Yeah, compared to the things that go on in this day and age.
Right.
Murdering 5 people is nothing when there's, mass shootings where, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 people get shot and killed.
Right.
5 people is just a splash in the bucket.
Yeah.
Not even a splash in the bucket.
Right.
At this point.
And then he blows up a pumpkin, a jack-o'-lantern, and they go to school where you meet granddaughter's boyfriend and his...
Who I got the vibe right off the bat that he was a giant scumbag.
Really? What was it?
It was just just the way he acted.
Yeah.
And then that weird other character.
Yeah, like his bisexual boyfriend.
Yeah,
maybe
his heterosexual life mate.
Yeah,
I guess you could call it his Silent Bob, if you will, who was not silent at all.
So like, I got the vibe that he was gay, and then later on in the movie, that's proven not to be true, because like he straight up kisses
They both end up kissing the granddaughter.
Yeah, but they kiss each other at that locker scene.
Yeah. Which I was getting the gay vibe too. I was like, oh, okay, she's got two gay best friends.
Or a boyfriend and his gay best friend or something.
Yeah, something
like that. But no, that doesn't,
I mean, I'm not one to talk about being gay, because, I mean, everybody knows I do some gay shit from time to time. But that's neither here nor there. We're not talking about me. We're talking about Halloween 2018.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
So after we get all that done, I think then it goes, when does the bus crash happen?
It doesn't happen before the dinner. The dinner happens, then the bus crashes.
Is that when it happens?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's skip the dinner, because we kind of already talked about that.
The podcasters...
Nothing happened at the dinner.
Yeah.
It was just, she shows up.
She's drunk.
She's drunk.
And she downs a glass of wine.
She came from watching Michael being transported.
Yes, because the podcasters, before they leave, they suggest that she says goodbye.
Yes.
Because Michael Myers is being transferred to a more secure facility where he'll never see the light of day again.
Right.
Why they wait 40 years for this to happen? Don't know.
Because the doctor wanted to study him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess.
Which, by the way, at this point in the movie, in the opening scene, we get introduced to the doctor.
New Loomis.
Yeah. New Loomis.
Yeah.
Who doesn't hold a candle to the original.
Oh,
Loomis. Yeah. I mean, this guy's just, he's nothing.
Yeah.
This guy can't act. He can't.
Yeah.
He can't do it. He's no Loomis. He doesn't have that. I hate to say the word mystique about him, but
no, I think that's a good description of Loomis, because you're in the 1978.
He doesn't have the obsession that Loomis had.
There's something that puts you off about Loomis in the 1978. Like but at the same time, you're like, this guy is somebody who's been subjected to Michael Myers for 15 years, and there's just something off about him. But at the same time, he's like, trustworthy enough, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can tell he's obsessed, but not obsessed in like a bad way.
Right.
Like he's obsessed to the point where he wants to figure out a way to use what he's learned to help people.
Right.
And that's essentially what he does.
But if he was somebody at a bar and you're sitting next to him, you might, and there wasn't like a Michael Myers situation going on, you probably don't want to hang around him for too long.
Yeah. You might let him buy you a drink, but even then you might not drink it, you just walk away.
It sounds like he's like 5 minutes later he starts muttering about, something that he saw back in the like a Vietnam vet or something like that,
somebody with horrible Nam flashback or something.
Yeah. That's
really,
what I
really
like
bad
about the original Loomis.
Yeah. I liked him.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
Donald Pleasance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, like I said, we're going to fast forward to the bus crash here.
Okay.
So once again, we're introduced to two new characters in the movie that, after this scene, play no other role in the movie. You were the father and son getting ready to go on a hunting trip.
Yeah, but the son just wants to dance.
Yeah, the son's just like, I don't want to go on this hunting trip. I'd rather dance, which is not too far off from this day and age.
Yeah, I guess so.
Type of lifestyle or whatever. But you meet the father and son. You learn that they're going on a camping trip. And all of a sudden they roll up, and you see mental patients scattered across the road, like walking. None of them hurt. Nobody's hurt. They're all up walking around. And they get out like idiots instead of just driving away.
Right.
And calling the police instantly.
Right. Beep your horn.
Yeah.
To get the road clear.
Yeah.
And then
while
cruise.
You're dialing 911 and just keep on going. So they get out. The dad gets out. And
he sees the security guard dead in the grass. Oh, no.
No, the son
He just disappears.
Yeah, the dad gets out and you never see him again.
Right.
Well, you do see him again, but spoiler, he's dead. He gets out, he goes looking. The son is still in the car. And one of the inmates or whatever smacks his hand on the window. And the kid's all like, oh, my God, I'm so scared. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to get out anyway.
Yeah.
I got to find my dad. Instead of calling at this point he calls the police.
Right.
Finally.
Yeah.
Calls the police. And he
grabs a gun.
And he goes and he finds one of the police escort people dead in the grass. We think they're dead, but he he pokes him with the gun, and he wakes up and grabs him, and it's like a jump scare.
Yeah,
which was lame.
He gets on the bus. New Loomis decides to jump out.
Yeah, New Loomis jumps out of the back out of nowhere.
He goes, "Don't shoot!"
Yeah, scares the living crap out of this kid. Yells, "Don't shoot!" Throws his arms up, gets shot.
Immediately gets shot.
Doesn't die.
Yeah.
But he gets shot. Kid runs off. Next thing you know, he's back in the truck. Guess who's in the truck with him?
Mikey Myers.
Oh, Mikey.
Yeah.
And he bashes the kid's brains against the wall or against the glass, which the glass doesn't break.
Right.
But it might not. Hell, that was an older truck. They don't make them like they used to. So Michael Myers, obviously, he's got him a truck now. He's got him some weapons. And now he's on the road.
Yeah.
Now that he's back on the road, I don't know where the hell he's going. Obviously, he's going to Haddonfield. And he ends up in the background scene where we run into the podcasters again. Now, this scene, like I said, it's from the trailer, but I thought it was the scene of the movie.
Yeah.
Because if you're not watching the background and seeing what's going on, you're going to miss a whole lot.
There's a lot of details in this scene.
A lot of details. And I got to give him credit on this scene in particular. So many details. All right, so it cuts back to the podcasters, and they've, I guess, concluded with Lori or whatever, and they're driving around, and it just shows them pulling into a gas station getting gas. Well, in the background, as they're getting out of their truck to put gas in it, or their car rather, you see the same truck that Michael Myers is in now pull up and find a parking spot. Then it cuts around to the guy getting gas and the girl talking about having to go to the bathroom or whatever. Talking about some kind of food, like, oh, breakfast went right through me or something, I got to go to the bathroom. Which was kind of unnecessary.
Yeah.
But she could have just been like, I got to go to the bathroom.
Right.
And then as she's getting out and he's walking up to pay for gas or whatever, you see Michael Myers, big-ass 60-year-old man in the background and is still in his prison uniform.
The white
the
jumpsuit.
White jumpsuit, yeah. You see him get out of the truck and start walking in towards I guess the gas station had a mechanic on duty.
Yeah.
Kind of deal. You see him walking in. Well, then the girl goes to the bathroom. She's in the bathroom. And then I guess she's taking too long.
Right.
So the guy goes and says something, was it the guy? No, while the girl's in there asking where the bathroom is.
Yeah.
At that point, you can see Michael in the background beating the hell out of somebody.
Right.
Which is, you come to find out, that's where he gets his jumpsuit
from. The mechanic's jumpsuit.
The mechanic's jumpsuit and the boots.
Yeah.
He gets that, and like I said, if you're not paying attention,
you're
gonna miss it because it's right there. You can see it, but it's just enough out of focus where you wouldn't normally pay attention to it.
Right.
But you should have. So she goes on into the bathroom, and Michael Myers is beating the hell out of this guy. Takes his jumpsuit, takes his boots. Next thing you know, he's in the bathroom. So, and then you see the whole banging on the bathroom stall scene and dropping the teeth.
Yeah.
And which was terrifying.
Yeah.
Which it was good. What I don't get is, how in the hell do you rip out somebody's teeth as perfectly as he did?
Yeah. Yeah, there should have been some jawbone and everything in there.
There should have been something.
You see when the boyfriend goes into the gas station and tries to get
assistance. Is he a boyfriend or just the other
or
podcaster?
The other podcaster, we should say that, yeah. When he walks past the register guy and it looks like he's just slumped over his desk.
Taking a nap or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When the camera peels around the front, you do see his jaw is elongated.
It's almost ripped off.
So that's where I guess the teeth came from. But
yeah,
there was a lot of teeth.
Yeah, a whole lot of teeth.
Yeah.
Well, and then you find out, you see that guy dead, and then you see the mechanic guy dead, just laying there covered in blood, semi-nude. And then you're like, okay. And then he decides, well, I'm going to go to the bathroom to find out where the hell she is. And at that point, had he already knocked in the door to the stall?
Yeah, she's so the female podcaster is trying to go sideways underneath the stalls across that nasty ass floor
And the detail, once again, like she goes to the first stall and it's like, ew.
Yeah.
And she goes to the second stall and she's like, ew. Third stall, clean enough for her to use.
Yeah.
You know, well, as she's like crawling under the stalls, you actually see why she was like, ew, in the first place, because there's like shit everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, just feces and urine and you know,
yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
everything you would not want to.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to sit on that either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the boyfriend comes in with a tire iron.
We keep calling him a boyfriend.
Oh,
Is he really a
sorry.
boyfriend?
I don't know. I think they're either boyfriend or married. I don't know why I think that, but I feel like
I get that vibe too, but it's never really said.
Yeah, I don't know if it's said.
Right.
The guy podcaster comes in with a tire iron, and he lasts about 2 seconds before he starts getting. And the great thing too is the female podcaster's in the first stall, and she's got like the door shut, and Michael Myers takes the guy and starts beating his face against the door to that stall.
Right.
Yeah, which I thought was, I mean, that would be disturbing as hell.
Yeah, that's pretty brutal.
Yeah, and then he throws him up against the wall and leaves him alive long enough so that he can see the woman get choked out, or at least know that she's getting choked out in that stall.
She gets the classic hands around the throat, pick
up
you up
in the air,
up off the ground where you can't touch.
The ground or anything.
Yeah. Well, she gets that treatment. That's what I was going to say. She gets that choked out treatment, which is always cool.
Mm-hmm.
I always like those kind of scenes. I don't know why.
It's definitely disturbing. The worst I think I've ever seen is in Final Destination 1, where the guy is in the bathroom and not really hands around the throat, but he gets that like clothesline in the bathroom, wraps
in
around
the shower,
and he's like trying to like stand, but there's just enough moisture in the tub that he can't get his feet down.
So good.
Yeah, so that there's something about that, like choking out, that is that always gets me.
You into some autoerotic asphyxiation there, Travis?
Maybe.
That's a whole other podcast.
Yeah, that's a whole other podcast.
Yeah. So, how exactly does the male podcaster die? Does it even
I think
show?
he gets the tire iron through the chest and stuck against the wall.
I can't remember.
I know that there's one person that gets the knife through the chest.
That's the boyfriend later on in the movie. Yeah.
Where he's suspended and somehow being affixed to the wall by a kitchen knife.
Instead of being cut in half by the sheer weight of himself.
Yeah.
Okay, so now after this point in the movie, this is kind of where I lose all hope.
Yeah.
Like, that was the money shot.
Oh, I want to say, this scene is great. I love this scene. Best thing about this scene, the music. There's
the soundtrack to the whole movie.
Yes, they do things with the original John Carpenter's theme that are updated, but at the same time, just recognizable enough that you're like, oh, this is like a variation of that original song,
right?
But like with some like dubsteppy bass, and then in this scene, it's music and then a bass line and then silence. And then music, bassline, silence again.
Yeah.
Because, like, the action in the scene is punctuated by the boyfriend getting the girlfriend, female podcaster, violence, and then male podcaster, violence, and then female podcaster, violence, and then male podcaster, violence, until it's over.
Until ultimate death. Yeah.
And the music that scores this scene is fantastic. It's almost, for me, more enjoyable than everything I was seeing, because I was
definitely
just like,
more enjoyable than the rest of the movie.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So we can really start to fast forward from this point.
Yeah, at this point, like I said, the movie goes downhill.
Yeah.
You know, you meet. It's a reiteration of the strain on the relationship between Laurie Strode and her daughter, and the granddaughter. It basically plays out a lot like, which makes me kind of think it's like a reboot, because it plays out exactly like the original Halloween movie.
Mm-hmm.
There's a girl who's babysitting, and newsflash, she gets killed.
Right.
Yeah. And her boyfriend gets killed.
There's no, like, teen sex. There's no, like, you like what you see scene or anything like that.
There's some heavy making out and some heavy petting, but no gratuitous nudity that would be, like, unacceptable by today's standards. Which is probably why they did that You know, I will say the only other thing about this movie that saved it even just a little bit was the child that the friend was babysitting.
Yeah.
He was hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely hilarious. Like, without this little bit of comic relief, you know, I don't know what else to say about this movie.
Yeah.
You know.
The Alakazam. You gonna go smoke some weed with your friends.
Yeah, it's like, I ain't stupid. You know, I know what that is. You just gonna smoke weed with your friends. And, like, I kind of get the vibe that, like, they don't really like each other.
Right.
But they do like each other.
Yeah, so he says, or she goes, you know, you used to be one of my favorite kids that I babysit.
Now you're like the 10th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then later on, when she puts him to bed, she's like, you know what? You really are.
Yeah.
My favorite.
One thing that I didn't get about this whole scene is, like, it's Halloween night at this point. Okay? You still see trick-or-treaters out and about. Like, throughout the whole rest of the movie, you see trick-or-treaters out and about. But yet this kid is inside, not in a costume, just sitting there, not even eating candy, not doing nothing. And she puts him to bed, and it's like 9 o'clock.
Is that...
What kid goes to bed at 9 o'clock?
Is
he a Jehovah's Witness?
He could be. Is that a thing that happens in the first movie too, though? Because they're babysitting on Halloween night as well.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure they're, like, eating candy and stuff. Like, they've already went out trick-or-treating.
Yeah.
And now they're, like, at home, still in their costumes.
Yeah.
You know?
Because, like, I remember that one kid who's like, I saw the boogeyman.
Tommy Doyle.
Yeah, Tommy Doyle.
Yeah.
And he keeps calling Michael Myers the boogeyman. And I think the kid in this movie calls Michael Myers the boogeyman at least once when she comes and she's, like, looking around the room for him.
Yeah. And what gets me about that whole scene is, like, the boyfriend and girlfriend, the babysitter and her boyfriend are sitting downstairs. And they're making out, going at it. And you don't even hear anything. And then all of a sudden she pops up and she's like, what's that noise?
Yeah.
Did you hear that? And, like, I'm sitting in the audience and I'm thinking to myself, what the hell is she hearing?
Yeah.
I didn't hear nothing.
If anything, it was like a muffled thud that could literally be anything.
Yeah, anything. And the boyfriend even says that. He's like, it's probably just the kid moving around or going to the bathroom or something.
Yeah.
You know.
If there was, like, a glass shattering or you know, like
a scream.
Yeah.
An obvious distressful noise.
Yeah, this was just an ethereal thud.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it.
You don't hear it. I didn't hear it as an audience member. Did you hear it?
I did hear it.
You did.
But it was just
the
thud from, like, upstairs or something.
Which could easily be the kid tossing and turning in his bed.
Yeah.
You know. So at that point, she's like, yeah, go upstairs and check it out. Well, as he's, like, going to check out this noise, the kid runs downstairs and is like, somebody's in the house, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So at that point, why would you even continue to go upstairs and look and not call the police?
Right.
You know.
Another question that I have is, at this point, Michael Myers has killed, and the police are on his trail. They're on his trail from the bus crash. Why?
His body count's only like 5 or 6 at this point.
Yeah. Well, no, I think at this point he is already going, like, kind of house to house, but, like, not killing everybody he sees, because you see him, like, out on the street and, like, kids are, like, running past him and stuff.
And he doesn't kill the kid that's being babysitted either.
Right.
Yeah.
And he doesn't kill the baby in the house when he's, like, walking through the house.
Yeah.
And
Let's break down the body count up till this point. Okay?
Right.
You only see one security guard dead.
Right.
You
the dad.
The dad, or
the
security
kid.
Guard, the dad, the kid, the 2 podcasters.
Right. The 2 people at the gas station.
The 2 people at the gas station and the old lady in the house. So there's an 8-person body count at this point.
Well, no, the lady that's in her house, and he comes up behind her when she's looking out the window.
That was afterwards. That was after he kills the babysitter, I do believe.
Okay.
Even if it's not a 9-person body count.
Right.
Okay. He could have very easily killed the kid that was being babysitted.
Yes.
Because he was when they find him,
he's in his room.
Closet. Yeah, he's in the room.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and instead of chasing this kid after he sees him, you know, obviously in the house, instead of going after him, he
gets Vicky.
He hides in the closet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To get Vicky and her boyfriend.
Yeah. Was that her name, Vicky?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't pay attention.
I got it. Because of Fairly Odd Parents. Vicky was Timmy Turner's
sister.
Crazy babysitter.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're right.
And that's why I don't know why that stuck with me.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So, and then after that, it's pretty typical. You get reintroduced to the granddaughter's boyfriend.
Yeah.
Whose sole purpose in the movie, I do believe, was to get rid of her cell phone.
Right.
So when all the shit starts to hit the fan, she doesn't have her cell phone, and like it's literally ringing in her hands, and they have like an argument, and he throws her phone, and like, who has custard?
A big bowl of custard.
Custard or pudding or something that's not quite a liquid, but not really a solid.
It could have been a punch bowl.
It could have.
Because it looked like a punch bowl.
Yeah, full of like pudding or custard or some gelatinous
crap.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, around this time, is Lori knows that he's escaped. How does she find out?
I think the sheriff shows up, doesn't he?
No, she meets the sheriff.
I forget how she finds out exactly.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I know she shows up at the sister's
There's a
house.
news story.
Yeah, she overhears the news story talking about how the bus crashed and everybody escaped.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then she goes to her daughter's house and she's like, "All right, it's on.
Get out."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a gun, or she even draws down on the woman's husband.
Yeah, like, "Don't you come near me, I will cap you. I gotta save my life."
And he's just like, "Put the gun away, get out of my house." And then the daughter's just like, the world is not a scary place. It is full of love and peace and trust. And I hate you. Now get out of my house.
Yeah.
Peace, love, and trust. Things that she's not. Yeah. And things that she's not showing her own mother at this time. And shuts the door in her face. And the mom's like, "All right, I'm going to hunt Michael Myers on myself." And doesn't find anything until that night, because that's in the daytime.
Yeah.
When does she find out? What is the... Oh, she's at the podcast people's killing. That's where she makes eye contact with the sheriff, and the sheriff makes eye contact with her, but they don't even have a conversation until they're outside the daughter's house, and they're trying to get all the family over to Laurie's compound.
Right.
Which, okay, here's the problem I have with this movie. Big problem. The relationship between Michael Myers and Laurie Strode. Like I said before, we're kind of led to believe, or at least insinuated upon, the fact that neither can live while the other survives. That as long as Michael Myers lives, his goal is to kill Laurie Strode. And as long as...
And vice versa.
Laurie Strode, she even says, "I pray every night that he'll escape so I can kill him and go about the rest of my life," because she knows that as long as he lives, she can't be at peace.
Yeah, she'll always be paranoid.
Yeah. But it does not seem that Michael Myers is on his way to Laurie's house. It just seems that he's just happy killing indiscriminately. Just walking into there's a garage door open here. I'm going to grab a hammer, walk into the house, kill that person. Pick up a knife. Now I'm going to the next house, bash that woman's head in, cut her throat. Then to Vicky, the babysitter. Got to kill her. She's a babysitter.
Yeah.
And it does not seem that he's on any indiscernible path until the doctor and the cop hook up.
The sheriff.
Yeah.
From the original.
That's the same guy. They get together and they're on the hunt for Michael Myers.
Which I will say, 40 years later, and this guy is still the sheriff.
Yeah,
like he would have retired like 25 years prior to that. Yeah.
Nobody stays on the job that long.
No, nobody.
Because he had to have been at least... Well, he was the sheriff back then?
He's got to be in his 60s, 70s by now.
70, I would have to say. Because there's no way he could be sheriff at 20.
Yeah.
He had to be at least 30.
Right.
So he's with New Loomis, and New Loomis says a couple times that we can't kill him. He's state property, which doesn't make much sense. In fact, if I was a sheriff, I'd have been like, no, if I see this guy where he's dead.
And even earlier in the movie, he is telling, I believe, the podcasters, or maybe it was the sheriff later on, that he recommended they put him to death.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Or maybe, I don't know. For some reason, that keeps coming. Did that come up in the new movie? Maybe I'm thinking the original Halloween.
No, I think that might be the original.
Yeah,
that might have been Loomis.
It might have been Loomis talking to the sheriff in that.
Yeah.
When they go to the Myers house or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's all right. So they come across Michael Myers, or they actually come across the granddaughter, pick her up because Michael Myers has killed her companion as she's walking home.
Right. Not her boyfriend.
Right.
Her boyfriend's
friend.
gay lover friend.
Yeah.
Heterosexual life mate.
Who gets really creepy with her and tries to kiss her. She flips him off and gets away to leave him to his death.
Which I was picking up on all the subtleties that she was dropping down. I don't think he was all that in the wrong.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Granted, I had to go use the bathroom and refill my popcorn in that scene, so I didn't really see all of it. But
yeah,
I saw enough of it to be like, well, she's going after this dude now.
They were definitely close.
Yes.
From the locker scene, he kisses her there, but it's kind of like he's being a goofball. But yeah, he immediately apologizes and stuff.
Yeah.
But still, this is like enough to get him axed out of the movie.
Right.
He's the weakest link. Goodbye. Which is a pretty good scene. Lights go out, and when they come,
lights.
Yeah, they time out, and
they make a big deal out of the security lights.
Yeah.
For I guess just for dramatic effect.
Yeah.
But
it's kind of Doctor Who-ish. There's a monster on Doctor Who that as long as you see it, it can't move. But if you look away, if you so much as blink, it has all the time in the world to move.
Right.
And that's kind of the theme of this scene is the lights go out. When they come on, he sees Michael Myers and he's not really moving. And then the lights go out and he's there.
Yeah. Which, if they're motion lights, I don't know why they wouldn't have came on.
Yeah, while he's moving.
While he's moving. They only come on when the other kid's moving.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, it is weird. Yeah, it's just a horror thing.
It's all for dramatic effect.
Yeah.
But still, like, not logical at all.
Yeah. So, back to the story. So, they pick up the daughter. They are taking her to Laurie's house, the cop and the doctor. And they see Michael Myers, and they go to run him over. Now, in Michael Myers, or Halloween 2, there's a scene where they run over a guy who's dressed up as Michael Myers.
Yes.
And they kill him, but it's not really him.
No.
And I thought that's kind of what was happening here.
I got the same feel.
Because he goes to take off the mask, and he doesn't do it.
Yeah.
So I was like, maybe it's not really him. Which would make sense. Like 40 years later, there's this like all this lore around Michael Myers.
Somebody would dress up like him for
Halloween, for sure. Especially in Haddonfield.
Yeah.
So this is the most baffling scene of the movie. The cop comes over. He's obviously ready to put a couple into Michael Myers and end this killing spree.
In this movie.
Yeah.
In this terrible, horrible, no good, rotten movie right now.
And then the doctor pulls out the tiniest little switchblade, razor blade, scalpel thing, and stabs the cop in the jugular. And then he puts Michael Myers in the car
with the girl
and starts talking like madness. That there was no sign. I mean, he was a little weird, Loomis-y weird, but it was kind of an impression of Loomis.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, he's like, "I've got to hear him talk, and I've got to get him close to Laurie Strode."
I've got to evoke a response from him. I've only seen him in captivity.
Right.
Loomis got to see him out in the free world, and I want to see that. I want to see how he reacts in the real world, in a real life situation.
Yeah. So I want to, and the best thing that I can do is take him over to Laurie Strode's house
and unleash the fury, and let it hit the fan.
So like, Michael Myers is never really hunting Laurie. There's no other relationship. Michael Myers is just a killing machine, and Laurie knows this, but we are led to believe that Michael Myers and her have a special relationship, and there's going to be something that happens when they get together, and Laurie knows that when he gets released that he's going to come for her and all this stuff. And like, I don't know, am I wrong?
I mean, I totally agree. Like, it doesn't establish why they think he feels the need to kill her. If her not being his sister is just a myth and it's not true, and she's like the one who got away, that's the only thing that links them.
Right.
In my opinion, is she's the one who got away. And in my opinion, she's not really the one that got away, because Loomis is the one that shot him in the first one, if this is a direct sequel to the first Halloween and not the second. Either way, Loomis is the one who does all this stuff to him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and Loomis is dead. So
there's really no reason for her to feel threatened by him.
I wouldn't think so. I mean, I could see her being scared and having some PTSD about it.
Right.
But
to be prepared for his release, I mean, like, the best way to be prepared for his release is to just be as far away as possible from him.
Exactly.
Because he doesn't run.
No.
He only drives when he absolutely has to.
Yeah, when he's got far distance to travel.
Yeah.
Which the whole time they're in Haddonfield.
Right.
You know.
And the only distance that he wants to travel is to the next person that he can kill.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know why that's, and so the other thing is like getting Michael Myers to talk. So like the doctor is like, he has to say, and then the daughter or the granddaughter gets away, or at least gets him to stop the car by saying, "I heard him say something."
Yeah.
And then he's like, "What did he say? What did he say?"
And that's when he really starts. The doctor starts to really freak out. Like, you have to tell me what he said. I have to know. What did he say? And then
Michael Myers comes to,
and the only thing she says is the F-bomb.
Yeah.
She drops the F-bomb, and he just has this perplexed look on his face, like, that's what he said? Like, really, Doc, you're gonna buy that?
I mean, what if she said scrambled eggs? You know, like, what do you expect him to say?
Yeah.
What is there to say?
I'm tired, Doc. Take me back home.
Yeah.
You know, like,
what do you want? Yeah. What would be satisfying?
Exactly.
Nothing.
Nothing would have been satisfying.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the doctor stops the vehicle, the truck or whatever, and is talking to the granddaughter, and Michael Myers is coming too. And I think he has his mask off at this. When he put him in, didn't he take his mask and throw it in the car? Like he unmasked him or whatever?
Yes. Yeah.
So at this point, he's waking up, he's putting the mask back on, and instead of killing the girl in the same seat as him,
right,
he proceeds to kick the back seat of the driver's seat up far enough to where he can get out, and then the doctor, he gets out, pulls the doctor out, throws the doctor on the ground, and the doctor's, I don't even know what he says.
Say something.
Yeah, he says, say something. And Michael Myers just stomps his head. One stomp.
Yeah.
One stomp, dude's brains squirt out like a
hamburger meat. Yeah.
It's good, but it doesn't redeem the movie up to that point. And then
the granddaughter gets out, runs out to the woods.
Runs through the woods, which I don't think she knows exactly where she's at, but she's just running in the woods and then somehow stumbles upon Laurie Strode's compound in the middle of the woods.
Yeah, the firing range.
Yeah, she comes across the firing range.
And then, like, we don't even get that information until probably another 15 minutes into the movie, when they just cut back to her to, like, go, oh, don't forget about her, she's still alive. Yeah. She's just running through the woods.
Yeah.
Which, at no point does the granddaughter really serve a purpose.
No.
Like, I don't...
It's not, like, and Michael Myers shows up to the house before the granddaughter even gets there, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like he's following her to get to Laurie Strode's. Michael Myers just so happens to, and I will say this, they're close enough at that point when they stop the car that the security guards that are like sitting outside Laurie Strode's house, the other cops, see there's a car stopped.
And they radio to it.
Yeah.
Because they know it's the sheriff's car.
And they get no response.
Right. So they go to check it out.
They go to check it out. And do they even get killed?
Yes.
Does Michael kill them? I don't remember.
Yes.
He does.
Yeah. Remember, because the guy's holding the other guy's head in his lap, and it looks like it's like a jack-o'-lantern, like the eyes and everything's hollowed out.
Yeah, it shows up later in the movie.
Yeah. Well, the husband, Laurie Strode's son-in-law, goes outside because he sees all the cars.
He sees the car pull up.
And he walks out and he sees the corpses of the two cops. And do you think the third scene was funny? I thought it was kind of misplaced, where they were talking about their sandwiches.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
Oh, you thought it was good?
It was like that little bit of humor just thrown in there
to kind of break up the speed that the movie, or the momentum.
It was unnecessary.
Yeah,
I think it was funny.
Yeah,
but it was one of those scenes you could have cut out.
You would think if like there's a murderer on the loose and you're sitting outside a compound, you'd be a little bit more serious than that. You know?
You would think, but even in the original Halloween movie, like nobody wanted to take Dr. Loomis seriously.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of how they were doing it. Like the only person that took the new Loomis serious was the sheriff.
Yeah.
And only because he was the same sheriff from 40 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that was it.
Yeah. So the husband walks out, leaves the compound because he's a smart guy. He gets killed, and I guess leaves the door open for Michael to come in.
Well, no. At that point, after he kills him, it goes back into the house to see Lori and I think just her daughter at this point.
Yeah, they're the only two left.
They're the only two left. Well, the
granddaughter's out in the
hasn't
woods.
even showed up yet, I don't think. And I'm trying to think how this goes down. She looks out. She sees what's going on. Her daughter runs up. Is like, oh, my God, where's my husband? And she's just like, don't look out there or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, go down in the basement in the secret cellar or whatever. And stupid move, if you ask me, on my part. Laurie Strode barricades the door, but she's got a glass door.
Yeah.
Not like a full glass door, but enough where you could break through it and reach your arms in.
And her safe room, whatever, that's underground, is just below the kitchen floor.
Right.
At one point, she shoots up through the floor. I guess it provides you a hiding place, but it's like Michael Myers ends up like beating that island out of place.
Yeah.
He could have stomped his way through the floor.
Yeah, where the gunshot came from.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what I don't get is how does he even know that the island is like retractable and there's stairs below it? Because at no point does he see anybody go down there.
Right.
At no point does he see it move at all. He knows
does
nothing.
he hear it move?
Yeah, but how do you know that
because when the
what's
granddaughter
moving,
runs down there.
How do you how do you know that that's what it is? It could be a doorway.
The gunshot also came up through the floor.
Yeah, but I'd be looking for a door to go downstairs.
Or like a hatch or something.
Yeah, I wouldn't be thinking, oh, let's look under the kitchen island. You know? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. So all that's left is, okay, so Laurie Strode starts going room to room.
The granddaughter shows up.
And while she's going room to room looking for Michael.
Yeah.
The Laurie Strode's going room to room. The granddaughter runs in, goes downstairs into the safe room. While Laurie is locked, and she like locks down the rooms by like dropping like security bars.
Yeah, she's got like a hidden button outside the doors.
Yeah.
And after she clears a room, she'll walk out, she'll push the button and close the room off.
Yeah.
Which, if it was me, I would have tried to get him in one of those rooms before I hit the security thing and drop the gate on it.
Right.
You know, it just, I don't know.
Yeah. And she also, by the way, has a huge rifle.
Yes.
And like, and she like goes as far as to like, okay, there's like a closet. She opens the door of the closet with the rifle muzzle.
Right.
Or is it a muzzle?
The barrel.
Barrel, thank you. And okay, so if you were to like open a door with a barrel of a gun, if there's something, you do a sweeping motion to open the door. If there's something there, you then have to swing back and fire.
Right.
You're giving that guy that split second of opportunity while that thing passes to like knock the gun out of the way or lunge for you. I would have thought like a handgun or something would have been a better instrument that you could, I don't know, react to. Have better reaction time.
Use with one hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you could like open the door and then be like,
Yeah. So let's go ahead and just end the movie.
Yeah.
Because this is pretty much it.
There's one more thing. Laurie gets thrown out the window.
Yeah.
And then
classic Halloween 1. Michael gets shot, falls out the window. They go back after a few seconds and look for him, and he's gone.
Already.
Same thing happens to Lori. He gets his hands on Lori, throws her out the window. She's laying there. You're thinking, finally, she's dead. We can move on now. And it cuts away. He looks around. He looks back out, and she's gone.
Right.
Dun, dun, dun. Big shocker there, right? So basically how this movie ends is Lori is outside, or is hiding somewhere. You don't see her after she disappears from the window. The daughter and the granddaughter are downstairs in like the hidden safe room or whatever. Michael Myers somehow realizes that, hey, the stairs that lead downstairs is underneath his island. Rips the island up, kicks it over, moves it out of the way, and the daughter's standing at the bottom of the stairs saying, Mom, I can't do it, I can't do it. You know, like she's pointing up. She knows Michael's up there, but he's not in her view.
Right.
Like he hasn't stepped forward to come down the stairs yet. And she's like, Mom, I can't do it, I can't do it, I need your help. You know, I can't do this, blah, blah, blah. Then Michael steps out, and she's like, in a split second, she's like, gotcha. And shoots Michael. One time.
Yeah.
Shoots him one time. And then Laurie Strode is behind him, and I guess like hits him from behind. And there's like a scuffle on the stairs, and Michael's pretty much downstairs now.
He gets knocked down. The girls try to rush up. He grabs for their ankles. They stab him kind of in the face.
And hand.
To
get him to let go.
Right. And then finally he's left at the bottom of the stairs, and then the grand finale is revealed. The true plan all along
was to basically trap Michael in that basement, and she does like some kind of another like hidden lever or something, and it has these bars go across the opening of the floor as like a final measure of security or something, you know, and traps him in the basement. And then she proceeds to turn all the gas on in the house. Like she's got little gas lines run to like every room in the house, even the basement. And proceeds to like fill the house full of gas. And then she takes a road flare, lights it, throws it in the basement with Michael while he's sitting there on the steps looking up at her through the bars. And they all get out safely before the gas ignites and blows them all up.
Yeah. I think that might have been the plan, though, when she was going room to room. Like, if she would have trapped him in any of those rooms, the same plan would have still gone down, where she'd ignite or turn on the gas lines and then ignite the room.
Probably.
Yeah. But it still was neat to get him down in the false safe room.
I would have, if it was me, the way I would have done that is once I knew he was in the house, I would have just locked the whole house down. You've got him trapped at that point. He can't get out of the house.
Yeah.
You know, why go through all those other measures? You know, if you know he's in the house, just stand in the kitchen and wait for him. Then have like a master switch that as soon as you see him, you lock the whole house down and then burn that motherfucker to the ground. Sorry, I didn't mean to use foul language there, but
I don't think burning it was. I think they could have like unloaded, you know, a symphony of gunshots into him.
That would have been more
like he's dead.
Yeah, it would have been more satisfying.
Yeah.
You know, you would have at least known that he was dead.
Because if you're going to burn someone alive, especially in a whole house fire,
somebody who's already been burned before, depending on which sequel we're playing off of.
Right. You're still not going to be able to like see it. You're not going to be able to see his body.
You just assume that he's dead.
Right.
Yeah. So the whole house burns down. Lori and her daughter and her granddaughter all make it away, you know, with very minimal injuries, if any. It cuts away, and that's pretty much it, right? Yeah.
That's it.
There's nothing else. Roll credits. Now we didn't stick around for the whole credits. I mean, why would you?
Yeah.
You know, the movie's over. But later we found out there is not exactly like an end credit scene, but it's just after all the credits rolls, the screen's black, and you hear heavy breathing. Don't know who. We assume it's from Michael Myers setting up a sequel, but who knows?
Yeah.
So overall, now that we've broke down this movie and talked about everything and talked about what made it good and everything that made it suck, I gotta say, this movie was absolute garbage. I would not pay to watch it again. It won't be one of those movies I rush out and buy on Blu-ray when it comes out. I have no desire to see this movie again.
Yeah.
It was less satisfying than Halloween H2O.
Wow.
Which was Jamie Lee Curtis's last appearance in the Halloween franchise.
Yeah. So I was watching a lot of like the reviews and a lot on this movie.
Right.
There were a lot of like the movie reviewers that I have a lot of respect for, all gave this like pretty positive reviews.
I've seen like 100 people say 10 out of 10, best horror movie in the franchise, better than the original, blah blah blah. 10 out of 10. 10.
10.
10.
It's 10.
And it's, am I missing something? Did that 5 minutes where I went to the bathroom and refilled my popcorn make that big of a difference? Since we both think the movie was garbage, I don't think it did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I disagree that it's a 10. I think it's like I don't know that I wasted my money by watching this movie, but I did leave it like I was expecting a lot more and got nothing of what I imagined or expected it to be.
No.
But I did hear or did see some like speculation that this movie was actually like finished a little while ago and they screened it for test audiences and it got a really, really, really bad reviews.
I believe that.
And one of the major things was that in the original cut of the movie, you remember the podcasters tell Laurie that Michael Myers is going to be transferred and that she should go and at least say something to him to like end this, like get closure on it.
Yeah.
And she's like, get out of my house. And then she knows that he's being transferred the night that she goes to the dinner
before Halloween,
right?
Which is totally cliche.
Yeah, why
does it have to be the night before Halloween?
Yeah, you would think that like the government or at least the people that are in charge of moving him would be like, you know what? We don't like we're not superstitious at all, but like why would we do this on this day? Let's just wait a day for.
I think knowing what we know now, I think the doctor was behind it.
You think so?
Because the doctor wanted to see him in his element, in a natural, free environment.
They really should have set up. Because there's a couple things. Okay, so this is where, if there is missing footage from the movie, it is this at this point. There has to be something missing from the movie. Because Laurie Strode shows up at the dinner drunk. And then she like downs a glass of red wine. And then you like see her out on like the street and she's crying and stuff. There's the speculation that I heard was that the original cut of the movie had her causing the wreck that she set up the bus to crash.
Right.
Because she also says to the police officer, I pray every night that he escapes so I can kill him. And he's like, why would you do that? Or why did you do that? I prayed every night for his escape. Why did you do that? Because I want to be the one that kills him.
Right.
And then he's like, that's the stupidest thing that you could have done or something like that.
Yeah.
And they think that the original cut of the movie was like, hey, I caused the bus crash. But why did you do that? Because I want to be the one that kills him.
Right. That would make more sense because you don't know
why the bus
crashed in the first place. You just roll up and you see that the bus, it's not even really crashed, it's just ran off the road.
Right.
And I think the doctor says like Michael Myers killed the bus driver or something.
Yeah.
But you don't, I would have been a lot more comfortable in the movie if we had seen the whole bus crash incident go down.
Right.
Which makes me think the doctor was behind it.
Right.
Because you don't see it and they don't want you to know that the doctor's in on it until later on in the movie.
And
which I think either way it would have been a huge twist earlier on in the movie, and it would have been a lot more enjoyable.
Right.
You know.
Well, the problem with Laurie being responsible for the bus crash is that means that everybody that died because of her.
Because of her, yeah.
So I guess that's why they had to change it. If that is in fact true, which we don't really know.
Yeah, that's all internet speculation at this point.
But if it's the doctor, that causes the bus crash, then you would at least have an explanation as to why he was still alive on the bus to begin with.
Yeah.
Because if he says the reason why he gets on the bus is I have to keep eyes on him from the time he leaves here until he's dead.
He's still my patient until he arrives in the arms of another person's care.
Right.
Or something to that effect. Yeah.
And the fact that if it was his responsibility to keep eyes on him, then he should be dead when the bus crashes and Michael's gone.
Yeah.
So
there's no reason for him to still be alive at the crash scene when the kid finds him and shoots him.
Right.
Like, if I was Michael Myers, he'd be one of the first ones to go. He'd be one of the most, of all the people on the bus, he has the most motive to kill him.
Right.
You know.
And regardless of how you feel about this movie, if you think it's a 10 out of 10, that's perfectly fine. You're entitled to your opinion. You have to agree with us.
It's okay to be wrong.
Yeah, it's okay to be wrong for one. And we'll accept that fact. But this is a huge plot hole in the movie. You cannot deny that fact. They could have at least they could have cut time away from those teenagers who serve no function in the movie other than to get Jamie Lee Curtis's granddaughter, who I argue does not need to be in the movie at all. It could have just been a mother-daughter story.
Yes.
Get the grandfather or granddaughter's phone thrown in the pudding to leave her vulnerable for Michael. And
not even really vulnerable, just to separate her from everybody else.
The panic.
Yeah, the panic of not being able to get a hold of somebody. That's
right.
it. That's all it was. Not really separate, but just...
Because even if she was involved in the panic, she still could have come across Michael Myers as she's running home from the dance.
Right.
That scene still could have happened. It could have just been a lot less blasé and rapey and just more panic and... and then Michael Myers shows up.
And what difference would it have made if she still had her phone? Because as soon as she gets attacked,
she gets rescued.
She gets rescued.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah. This movie, I think it just...
it has me asking more questions
than need be.
Yeah. It definitely leaves me wondering more than it does answering and satisfying the need to have this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so.
And it was definitely marketed, and it definitely had a lot of hype behind it.
You see all the best parts in the trailer.
Pretty much.
The trailer, just watching the trailer, I was like, oh, man, this is going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see the movie, and you're like, okay, the best part of the movie is 20 minutes in. The rest of it sucked. It had its moments.
Yeah.
But it was downhill.
Mm-hmm.
The brutality of the bathroom kill scene with the podcasters, that was the most brutal, best part of the movie, hands down.
Most of all the other killings happen off screen. You come back and you see the aftermath of it.
Yeah. You've already got an R-rated movie. Why not push the limits of it? You know, people want to go see a scary movie because they want to see the blood and the gore and the action. The money shots, if you will, of that. And I think with movies like Hostel and Hostel 2 and like Touristas and all those gore-centered movies, that's what people want to see. The movies were garbage, but they were good for the fact that it fed the need that people wanted to see the blood and the gore.
Like The Purge and all that.
And The Purge, yeah. The Purge movies were horrible.
Right.
But the kill scenes were great.
Yeah.
Final
Destination.
Yeah, Final Destination. Those movies,
trash.
Horrible.
After the first one.
Yeah, the first one was good. But everything after that, it was just to feed people's need to see the gore and the blood and the killing and all that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like murder porn.
Yeah.
If you go and you make a murder porn movie and you don't have the money shots that people want to see, what's the point of making the movie?
Right.
When the story sucks as bad as it did in this case, what's the point of making the movie if you're not going to give the people what they want?
Right. And there really didn't need to be that much to this movie. All that we needed to understand is that Laurie's been living in fear for the past 40 years, and Michael's been locked away for the past 40 years, and he gets out.
Yeah.
That's
under shady circumstances.
Right.
Yeah.
But
the
even
movie was just
then,
too cliche.
Yeah.
Way too cliche for my taste.
Yeah. Yeah.
Put a new spin on it,
Well,
at least with Rob Zombie's Halloween, you get a sense of, you understand why more, other than just pure evil, which I guess in the original that was kind of spooky. Like, you don't really have a reason why.
Right.
He's just a killing machine, which is scary in and of itself. But with Rob Zombie's Halloween, you had a great story. Now, Halloween 2, I can't say that.
Right.
But with Rob Zombie's Halloween, you get a good backstory. You understand why he's a psychopath killer.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he does get out, like, you understand why he's going after Laurie Strode. Like,
right.
There's a reason. It's not just because he wants to. Like, that's not a good enough reason. There's a reason. She is his long lost sister, and I think in Rob Zombie's Halloween, I don't think he even set out to kill her. He just wanted to feel the love, because she was the sister that was a baby when he committed the other murders, and she essentially loved him when she was a baby, and and she was the only one that loved him when he was a baby. So you would think he just wanted to connect and have that sense of family.
Mm-hmm.
But then when he showed up, she was like, "Oh my God, you're a psycho killer."
Yeah,
I got to get away from you, and that's what made him want to
break.
Yeah, that's what made him break. Like, oh well, if you don't love me, then I'll just kill you too.
Yeah,
that made more sense than whether you take the sequel from Halloween 1 or the sequel from Halloween 2 and say she's the sister, she's not the sister. Who knows?
Right.
At that point, if she's not the sister, why does it matter?
Right.
Why does he feel so connected to this Laurie Strode that he has to kill her?
And in this movie, I don't think that he is, but I think that the movie keeps telling you that it is.
Yeah.
But no, like, he just seems to be going house to house and killing whoever's in his path, or whoever just shines brighter or something. Like, his eye catches him. I'll kill you now. And then the doctor is like, I gotta put him in contact with Laurie Strode, and that wouldn't somewhat make sense, but for the fact that Laurie Strode has been preparing for this moment, and preparing at her house, that she knows that he's going to come specifically for her, but he doesn't. That's the baffling thing about this movie.
It's just happenstance.
It's just happenstance.
Yeah, it's just a huge coincidence that the doctor stops the car, 30, 50 feet from her driveway, and that's where he gets out. If it wasn't for the cop and the doctor trying to get to Laurie, then Michael would just kill at random.
Right. Until the police capture him.
It seems like such a small town that eventually he would run into her, and then he would take care of her.
Right. Or somebody in his path would stop him. Because in this movie, he was, while the beginning, the opening scene of this movie seems to, like, there is evil surrounding him and the mask, or his relationship to the mask or whatever. But outside of that, there's nothing in this movie that makes you think that he's anything other than just a really powerful man.
That's it.
So he could be stopped.
Yeah. And at one point, Laurie actually does shoot him, like, in the arm.
Yeah.
And it doesn't faze him.
Right.
What I don't get is earlier in the movie, it shows her at target practice. And, I mean, she's hitting, like, she's blowing the heads off these dummies. She's hitting the same hole in the targets. She's a crack shot. So now all of a sudden, she's got a clear shot of him from a very short distance away, and she shoots him in the arm one time.
Yeah. Maybe 40 feet.
If that.
Yeah.
30.
Yeah.
Tops.
That's not a long distance.
No,
30, 40 feet.
No. It's friggin' short.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know. But let's wrap this up.
All right.
Overall, I thought the movie was terrible. Not going to be one that I want to watch again. Will I watch it again? I'd give it another chance just because it is part of the horror or the Halloween franchise. I'd give it one more shot just
to see if we missed something.
Yeah,
if there's
just to
something.
see. Would I watch a director's cut of the film?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely, I would watch that.
I definitely want to see
something.
the missing footage. There is a plot hole with that bus crash, and I think that they filmed it, or they at least know what happened, and we don't.
Exactly. So
it's either the doctor or it's Laurie.
If I had to give it, what do we do? 1 out of 5 stars or something? Or no, how do we rate movies? It's been so long since we've rated a movie on here.
I know. Let's do stars this time.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to give it like out of 5 stars, I'd give it like a 2.
Yeah, I would give it 2.5. For the music and, but there's no great, other than the bathroom scene, which is really early on in the movie. There's no great killing scenes.
And the only other thing that rivals the bathroom scene is
the Vicky killing scene in the house.
Not even that. Just the babysitter scene where she's bantering back and forth about.
No, that's the scene I'm talking about.
Well, yeah, but I wouldn't call that. I wouldn't call the death scene.
Yeah, because you really just see her get pulled
into the room.
And then there's like that ghost sheet that happens in the first movie when Michael shows up on the ghost sheet.
Yeah.
But like you don't. There's no brutality.
No.
There's just her scrambling on the floor as Michael's.
Not even
her.
a broken fingernail.
No, which I was waiting for.
Like in
House
of
Wax.
Echoes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when they're dragging the girl across the floor and she breaks her fingernails. That was brutal.
House of Wax has a scene I think too where there's a manhole cover
and she sticks her fingers up through it.
Yeah.
And he cuts. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, scissors them off or something.
Yeah, that was good. But yeah, that's going to be us, people. We are going to get out of here. Thanks for watching I Seen It Movie Reviews. See ya.
Bye.